I'm Mr. B, your instructor for today, and today we're going to talk about something that's really been a problem on a lot of cars that I've worked on, and it's kind of a problem that's hard to fix. I'm going to show you guys my method of fixing HVAC system odors. Okay, so HVAC system odors can be caused by many things, but mostly they're caused by mildew buildup because the HVAC box is a damp, wet environment due to the evaporator and the water that settles on the evaporator when the air conditioner is running. So it may give you a slight smell like a towel maybe that wasn't hung up after a shower, or a locker room kind of dingy smell. And so I get a lot of customers complain about this type of thing, and it's fairly easy to fix until it isn't. And what I mean by that is if this doesn't work, I have another step that I do. And if that doesn't work, a lot of times we have to take the air box out and manually take it apart and clean it out. But this is the first step you want to take. I'll do another video that will show you the second step, and I'm going to post that up here. And so that will be your second step if this step doesn't work. But this is pretty easy. This is something that anybody can do if they have access to the cleaner that I use. And so right now it's a little bit hard to get this cleaner because of the COVID-19 crisis, but we are starting to see it show up on shelves again. So the first thing that you're going to need is a cleaner that is an ethanol-based cleaner. Okay, so the best ethanol-based cleaner or disinfectant that I can use would be Lysol. Okay, so Lysol or the store brand Lysol, anything like that. You just want a very high content of ethanol. So you'll see in the ingredients on the back, you'll see it'll say whatever level of ethanol that it has. So you really want that above 30–40%, and once we get that, we can then disinfect the HVAC system. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how I can prevent this from happening again, and it's something you may want to share to your customers or you want to do yourself. So I'll show you that at the end of the video. So let's get started. Okay, this is the cleaner I'm using. It's an industrial version of Lysol, and so it sees here on the active ingredients, I don't know if you can see that, but the ethyl alcohol, which is ethanol, is 44.25%, which is pretty good. The good thing about this is it leaves the HVAC box with a pretty pleasing smell, so it's not like it's going to be like bleach or anything and get in your eyes when you turn the HVAC system on. So I'm going to show you how to spray this in there and also air it out properly so you're not giving a customer a car back that could possibly burn their eyes when they're driving home or anything like that. So let's get started. Okay, so the vehicle that I'm working on today is a 2004 Volkswagen Passat B.5, and the pollen filter or the cabin air filter is actually right in between the first and second firewall in these vehicles. So I'm going to access it, but what I wanted to show you really quick was, see the buildup here of all this leaves and stuff that came from the tree where I parked this underneath. You're definitely going to want to get that out of the way, mostly because it's going to hold in moisture. So anything that holds in moisture, anything that traps water, anything we want to get out of the system, out of the way. The system's not designed to trap water. So second thing we're going to do, I'm going to pull this black shield out. If you have a Passat, it's going to work the same way here. So you just take this weather stripping off and pull this out right here and get this out of the way. And we're going to clean that off later. But now we have our cabin air filter. So if you've got a shop vac, anything like that, you're going to want to go ahead and take and get these leaves and everything up. We're going to remove our cabin filter, pull this tab up, pull it back a little bit, it'll come off. Just set that up there. And this cabin filter is obviously seen better days. I'm going to have to get another one to put in there. But your cabin filter can actually cause a lot of the problems that we're talking about and get moisture trapped in here and can cause some mildew buildup. But what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to take this area right here, make sure it's open. That way when I'm treating the area, I can treat it without the cabin filter being in the way. Okay, so I have the area where all the HVAC intake lives. I've got it all clear of debris. I took an air blower and blew everything out, but if you have a vacuum cleaner, you can use that as well. And so I'm wanting to focus on this area right here. This is the air intake area. This is every bit of air that comes in from the fresh air side is going to come in through this box. And so we can have water, rainwater, anything settle in this area and can cause some smelly issues or that mildew smell. Also, this is really good for smoke odors as well. If you have a car that someone smoked in, you want to get the smoke odor out, or you're about to sell your car or whatever, this is all great to use. So I'm going to take this disinfectant here and I'm just going to spray this area out with enough. I don't want it dripping anywhere, but just enough to let that soak in there. And that ethanol is going to get in there and it's going to kill that mold and mildew that will build up and cause those odors. So this is how we treat the fresh air side. Notice I've taken the cabin air filter out. The cabin air filter does not filter the air if you have it set on recirculated. It only filters the air if you have it on the fresh air option. So I'm going to show you a little bit how to toggle that on and off a little bit later and can solve this issue. So this is all we're going to need to do on the outside. Now, if you have a cabin air filter that's built on the inside, you may have your grills up here where your windshield wipers are, and that's what your air intakes are. So you're going to spray those grills in there with this stuff as well, and you just want it to kind of drip and seep in there and to kill any mildew that you may have that's built up right where the fresh air intakes comes in, because you know your rainwater is going to go down your windshield and get stuck in these places as well. It can cause that odor smell. Okay, so now we're inside the car and we're going to take care of the vents that go down to the HVAC box. So I'm going to take my cleaner and I'm going to spray about a 3-second burst, 2, 3, in each vent. Let's see if I can reach this one. Okay, after I spray that off, I want to make sure that I wipe down the vent to make sure that that stuff does not do anything to the soft touch coating that I have on a lot of these components that are inside this car. So now once I'm done with that, I'm going to let that sit for about 10 minutes and then I'm going to crank up the vehicle and let that run on heat or AC or fresh air, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to cycle it through and let that stuff cycle through the system. Okay, I've waited the approximate time and now I've got the windows down in the vehicle, I got the doors open, and all I'm doing now is just trying to remove the Lysol smell from the car and hope it takes away the mold smell that I get. So that's pretty much it. I also want to reinstall the cabin air filter with a new cabin air filter, and then I'm going to give it a couple of days and see if it smells any better. Okay guys, that's all it takes to get your car completely mold smell free. And if this doesn't work, like I said, you're going to have to give it a couple of days before you can tell if it's working or not. If that smell comes back, then you're going to have to use a ozone machine, which I'm going to have a video for that as well. But I did tell you at the end of the video I was going to tell you how to prevent this type of thing to happen again. So doing that, if you park the car, if you put the vehicle on fresh air, if you turn your recirculate off before you park the vehicle, the fresh air is going to come in and it can dry out your HVAC system while your car is parked. If you leave the car on recirculate, there's a good possibility that you should have some trapped moisture in the car, and that is going to cause that mildew smell to come back. And again, it's very hard to get rid of once you have it, but if you keep this method up or use the second method, which like I said, I'm going to make another video on, then that should work for you. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. You know, I'll come by and answer any comment that I can. And also like and subscribe my channel if you like my content. It really does help me make more content if I get more likes and subscribes. So for now, signing off, and I'll see you next time.